Good evening, folks, and welcome back to the very special black metal edition of the HeavyNFLD podcast, episode number 13. Last time we ended it off with a track by Homolka entitled Teal, and this time we're going to begin it with a track from a relatively newcomer to the black metal scene in St. John's called Withering Away. I don't really know much about this project except that it's a one-man band and it's definitely in the DSBM subgenre of black metal, which is one of my personal favorites. So without further ado, this is Secretive Thoughts of Suicide and Self-Destruction by Withering Away. Alright, so once again that was Secretive Thoughts of Suicide and Self-Destruction by Withering Away. Some really nice mournful tones there in the guitar. I really do enjoy some DSBM from time to time. Moving right along, we're going to go into another one-man black metal band, this time from a very unlikely place in the island, Bay Vert. You don't really see that much metal coming out of that small town, or I guess as the French people call it, Bévert. This is by Decima Morta, the project's by sole member, I believe his name is Aidan Parsons, and this is a track from the last full length that he put out, I believe. It's got some crazy Latin title. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce it, but anyway, the name of the song is Obsidian Falcon by Decima Morta. See, the thing I love about Decima Morta is just how fucking lo-fi that is. Like, I don't think I've heard any black metal come out of Newfoundland that sounds as fucking ugly and raw as that shit does. And now, admittedly, not all of the music is fantastic, in my opinion. I do think that Aiden has a lot to learn when it comes to, you know, actual production of music. And I can't say much because even my own first albums are really bad with, you know, keeping guitars in time with the instruments and stuff like that. But I do think he has a lot of potential, and I do hope that he keeps this really ugly, visceral, raw as fuck lo-fi sound. Now, moving on, we're going to actually play a song from my project, Mistwalker, which most of you guys probably already know about. It's a track that I did for a split with one of my other projects, which we're also going to play later in the show, called Impaled Upon the Mountains. The name of the split is Below Crushing Blackness, which you can find on my Bandcamp. And this track is definitely a bit more atmospheric in comparison to a lot of the other songs that I write that are more in like the traditional heavy metal, speed metal, thrash metal vibe with a black tinge. And this song is called Giants Tread Among Us. And just so you know, that song is about aliens living amongst us in modern society, which I'm not saying I actually believe, but I think it's something that's fun to write about. Up next, we have a song from my best friend Chris's project, Nemophilist, which originally started out as more of an atmospheric black metal project with songs like Perihelion and Aphelion, But since then, he's kind of moved away from black metal with Nemophilist, and it's now more of a dark ambient project, and he uses other projects to express the black metal. But I still think that the relation is close enough that, I still post his Nemophilist music on HeavyNFLD, and I'll still play it here in the black metal special. I do think that genres that have that close association with metal, like dark ambient and dungeon synth, still warrant a place on HeavyNFLD because of that close association. I mean, I'd even say that with synthwave. But anyway, this is going to be the most recent track, which I actually posted the official music video for on the HeavyNFLD YouTube channel just a few days ago, and this is called The Terror of the Enola Gay by Nemophilist.
In the morning, August 6, 1945, Colonel Tibbets takes the Enola Gay down the runway into the air, beginning the 6.5-hour flight to Japan. Over Iwo Jima, they begin the slow climb to bombing altitude. At 8:15, a weather plane reports from Hiroshima that conditions are good. 2/10 lower and middle, and 2/10 at 15,000 feet. As they approach the target area, the weapon is checked for the last time. At 9:11, 31,000 feet over Hiroshima, the Enola Gay begins the bombing. At 9:15, the bomb is dropped. The aircraft banks away at high speed. Just 50 seconds later, 15 miles from ground zero, the Enola Gay is bombed by the blast.
For those of you who don't know, the Enola Gay is the name of the plane that dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. I'm not sure if it also dropped it on Nagasaki, but regardless, that's some pretty heavy subject matter, and I do think that Chris managed to capture just that horrible feeling of dread that nuclear weaponry can instill in the human spirit with this track. Now, moving on, we're going to go on to a bit more of a well-known but still obscure black metal project from St. John's called VORBKT. It's a really hard name to pronounce because it's actually an acronym. I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but it's VORBKT. It's a one-man band by a member who prefers to remain anonymous, but this is a track from one of the early demos put out by this project entitled "My Bones Will Be Buried Deep in the Ruin." I just found what VORBKT stands for. It's Value Objectively Remains Broken, Knowing Tragedy. Now, for a while, VORBKT's music wasn't available on Bandcamp. I think the guy behind it deleted his Bandcamp page, and with it went all of the music. But since then, there has been another Bandcamp page that's sprung up in its absence, and I think it's actually run by somebody else because, according to the page, in 2017, the project is considered over. I guess the band, even though it's a one-man band, split up, and there's no official pages for it anywhere except this one. And even on Metal Archives, it says that any pages that exist for the band were fan-made. Now, the thing is, you can actually still purchase VORBKT's music through the Bandcamp page as well as through a record label called Depressive Illusions Records, where you can actually buy the physical cassettes. So I'm not sure if that's stuff that's officially sanctioned by the project or by the guy behind the project, but if you do want to own some VORBKT physical material, then you can find that on Depressive Illusions Records. The website's actually just depressiveillusions.com, and you can search for the project there. Now, moving on, we're going to go to an older black metal band that was around in St. John's before I was even a member of the scene down there. Like, they existed long before I became part of it. And a lot of you guys, you people in the older guard, you'll probably remember them, the band Embers Fade, which they broke up, I think, after one of the members died. I think the drummer, he passed away a long time ago. They only ever released one album, and the thing I like about this band is that they're more in the symphonic black metal style, kind of like Dimmu Borgir, but not as overblown. And that's interesting because you don't really see that kind of thing come out of St. John's. So we're going to play a song by them. It's called Memory to Ashes by the band Embers Fade. Okay, so once again, that was Memory to Ashes by Embers Fade. Moving right along to another one of my projects entitled Glacier Frost, a project that I don't really do much with anymore. I think I'm actually going to retire this project. I have some music that I've written under this name that I do still want to release, but I don't really have the motivation to continue this one anymore. So this is a track from one of the previous albums I did under this project that I did back, I think it was in 2017 when I put out this last album. And this track definitely has more of a modern Dark Throne vibe to it. It was definitely inspired by some of the material from Arctic Thunder by that band. Dark Throne's always been a huge influence for me. So this is Stellar Wanderer by Glacier Frost. Again, that was Stellar Wanderer by Glacier Frost from the album A New Dawn Over Once Dark Lands. The next track we have is by another project from the one and only Adam Sharr, who you may remember from the last episode as being the man behind Bone Alley as well as Oxygen Chapel. The name of this band is Luminance, but it's not just his solo project this time. It's actually a full band featuring the likes of local noise music aficionado Garrett SB and, of course, John Putt from Dark Era. So I really, really like this band. So far, they've only released one EP, and it's a damn good release, but I'm really hoping that they'll come back and put out some more music in the future. I know that all the band members lead pretty busy lives, which is totally understandable, but I'm really hoping that they haven't thrown in the towel quite yet. This release, it definitely goes more down the vein of atmospheric black metal once again, with lots of melancholy tones, kind of bordering on being DSBM again. But regardless, I think this is a fucking awesome track. It's called Lavender of Diesel and Destruction by Luminance. Once more, that was Lavender of Diesel and Destruction by Luminance. Up next, we have probably the most vicious and extreme black metal band that I've ever seen come out of St. John's that coincidentally Adam was also a part of. These guys are known by the name of Nightbreed. Now, unfortunately, they're no longer around. Of course, all the band members are, but things, I guess, between them, life happens, work happens, people go their separate ways, and unfortunately, they're no longer active. But thankfully, they did happen to release one demo, a 4-track demo, and it is some fucking punishing shit. So from that demo, we're going to play a song called Torn Apart by Demons, again, by Nightbreed. So, needless to say, I was pretty disappointed to find out that these guys are no longer around. I know that the individual members are probably doing their own thing musically, but one can always hope for a reunion in the future, and maybe we'll get some more kick-ass fucking extreme black metal from Nightbreed. Who knows? I mean, the future can hold anything, right? Up next, we're going to play a song that I alluded to earlier in the show, another song from one of my projects that I share with Chris from Nemophilist. The name of this project is, again, Impaled Upon the Mountains. We started this as kind of a sort of like trying to have like a pure black metal project, because Mistwalker was kind of taking a lot of influence from speed metal and thrash metal, and Nemophilist was obviously gone down the more dark ambient, dungeon synth, atmospheric route, and we kind of wanted to have a project that was just, straight up traditional Dark Throne style black metal. So that's why we started Impaled Upon the Mountains, and we've released one EP and a full length so far. Fortunately, when I moved here to Montreal and Chris moved over to the UK for a while, we had to kind of put this project on hold for a bit. But the good news is that Chris is actually thinking of moving up here to Montreal. So, once the two of us are, back reunited together again, I'm sure that we can probably get together and write some more material for this project. But until then, this is a track from the first EP that we put out, and it's called Turbid Isolation by Impaled Upon the Mountains. Okay, so up next we have another one of Chris's projects, actually. This one is called Acorn to Great Oak, and the context of this project is that it's basically entirely based around the history and culture of Carbonear. Chris kind of told me that the idea is, seeing from when being a child and watching the town as you get older, kind of seeing it expand and grow and get bigger, which is where the name of the project comes from. Acorn, growing into a great oak. So the town is just expanding over time and becoming greater than it once was, which I think is a really cool concept. So every song that Chris has done under the name Acorn to Great Oak has been about Carbonear in some way, shape, or form. Now, the style of the project is not really traditional black metal. It's definitely more of an experimental, atmospheric black metal mixed with dark ambient, but I think the reason he made this is because the fact that Nemophilist kind of grew away from the black metal and started being more dark ambient, and this project was definitely, it still has, guitar and drums in it, and it's meant to be really ugly and kind of disgusting to listen to, but still being pretty in some cases, and I think he really accomplishes that. So this is a track by Acorn to Great Oak. It's called Cabo Carvoeiro, which is the original Portuguese name for the town of Carbonear. Carbonear is actually a English corruption of that original name. So anyway, this is Cabo Carvoeiro by Acorn to Great Oak. That was, again, Cabo Carvoeiro by Acorn to Great Oak. Up next, we have a song from a little-known black metal project that, honestly, I don't even know where in Newfoundland these guys are from. I know they're a three-piece, but if you asked me what their hometown was, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Their name is Northern Aggression, and they've released 3 demos thus far. It's been some years since they've been active, so I'm assuming that they've probably split up. But what they have put out is honestly pretty good. There's some psychedelic aspects to some of their music, which I really like. It's always interesting when people put that kind of vibe in with black metal, when people mix black metal with different genres. I'm always really interested in that kind of weird experimentation. But I also kind of hope that these guys come back, because I think there's a lot of potential in their music. And it's always sad when a band gets kind of cut short due to the responsibilities of life, I guess you could say. So without further ado, this is Hell is Cooling by Northern Aggression from the album Highway 666. Alright, so that does it for our black metal special for January 2019, the first 2 episodes of the HeavyNFLD official podcast for this year, and I'm really going to try my damnedest to keep this up for the entirety of the year. I want to make sure I do at least 1 episode a month for you guys, because I've made that promise in the past, and I really haven't kept it. So I really want to try and still build that sense of goodwill. Now that being said, of course, I haven't played all of the black metal bands that are from Newfoundland that I'm aware of. There are a few outliers that I left out, like Astral Connection, Targrave, Grimacing, Ice Fog, etc. There are a couple of others, but these shows can only go so long. I don't want to be here for 2 hours trying to name to you and play all the songs from all the fucking black metal bands that live in this, that come from this province. So what that means is that in the future, I'll probably do a follow-up episode to these two and play the last few outliers that didn't get a shot this time. But in the meantime, I look forward to, again, record production month coming up in February. Can't fucking wait for that. I'm really stoked to see what you guys come up with, to see if there's any great new heavy music that comes out of St. John's, that comes out of the rest of Newfoundland and Labrador. I'm really excited to see that, and maybe at the end of February, I'll do a special RPM only episode. I might wait until March to do that, just because of the last few outliers that usually come in on like March 1st, March 2nd. But I do want to do an episode that's dedicated only to RPM, provided that there is enough heavy music to come out of this year's RPM challenge. Now, aside from that, that's actually everything that I have to say. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for all of the support from me and the other folks here at HeavyNFLD, the couple few that we are. Thanks again for listening to the podcast, for checking out all of your local bands. Remember, support local, support Newfoundland, and stay fucking heavy. Peace out.